Hello again, why.This, and welcome to another video, and, well, a really exciting video. Now, today, being August 21st, 2017, is actually the 5th anniversary of my YouTube channel, and this is going to be my mini-series I'm going to be doing. I did a quick video earlier on, really, talking about, the 5th anniversary and what I'm looking forward to and stuff, and also celebrating it. So, this is going to be part 1. Tomorrow's going to be part 2, and then Wednesday's going to be part 3. And I said in the the previous that I said you might be a little bit annoyed. You might be a little bit annoyed, but thing is, it spreads out that content. You'll be getting almost like 15 minutes worth of content. You know what I mean? So it spreads it out, but it'll be again, part 2 tomorrow and part 3, Wednesday. So apart from that, let's start. Now we'll start from the beginning of why I created my YouTube channel. Now around back around 2007, 2008, I started hearing a lot of people talking about this thing called YouTube, and I was wondering what the heck this YouTube thing was, and I started experiencing it. I was watching certain content on there, and I was kind of hooked. You know what I mean? I think the idea of the concept of YouTube, I think, was really, really good. With people just uploading content on there, you could watch it. I was like, wow, this is really, really amazing. And at the time I was watching a lot of Classic Game Room with Mark, as well as the Undertow channel. But I watched CGR, and I was watching a lot of the stuff he was doing, because he was doing a lot of the new game consoles and the new games coming out. But he was also reviewing the older games and the older consoles from the the early 90s and the 1980s and the 1970s. And I learned a lot, and I found it so interesting to learn about stuff I never knew before. For example, finding out that Sega actually made consoles before Dreamcast, which is interesting. And then finding about Atari, about who Atari was in their game consoles, as well as the Vectrex, the Colecos, and all that sort of stuff. And I just found it really, really interesting. I thought, do you know what? I hope that we do see more content on there. And as well as people watching, the Angry Video Game Nerd, which I did watch. I think it was okay, you know what I mean? Like I say, he did start, recently and stuff around that time, 2005, and it was just, interesting stuff. So over the years, I started watching a lot more content. I watched a lot of tutorials about stuff, and learning new things, you know what I mean? I just loved that. And then, around 2010, 2011, I remember thinking, I thought, I'd love to make content and stuff on YouTube that I can watch and people can watch. And around that time, obviously, I didn't have a smartphone, but I'd recently got an LG cooker, and obviously it was basically like an iPhone, but obviously it wasn't an iPhone, and it had a stylus and a touch screen, and I was really, really impressed. Oh my god, that's so cool and stuff. And obviously, I had a camera. Obviously, you couldn't really. Well, it had a good camera for the time. And I thought, I'd love to do this someday. So what ended up happening was, I was actually at a friend's house back in August 2011, and I obviously stayed over, and the following morning, I woke up around I think it must have been 8 o'clock or half 8, and I ended up recording myself on my mobile at the time, the LG cooker, and it's a 10 seconds or 15 second video, and basically I asked a question to myself: will we ever see the 8th Doctor regeneration into the 9th? Because at that point, it hadn't happened. And it was always a big question about will we ever see it, which we did 2 years later. And that was a thing about it. I thought, I'd love to do this sort of stuff. But at the time, I didn't really know how to upload on YouTube. Even though I was pretty much tech savvy, I didn't really know how the heck you uploaded, you know what I mean? And, and I always thought I'd love to do this sort of stuff. So the following year, on August 21st, 2012, I actually went over to a friend's. A friend's house. Actually, it was his grandparents because he was staying there during the holidays, and he was playing obviously video games with his cousin. And I thought, this would be really, really good to do. You know what I mean? So he asked me, he says, Dominic, would you like me to create a YouTube channel for you? And I said to him, yeah, please. It'd be really, really good. Because he actually had his own. So he actually created my YouTube channel, and the first video that was ever uploaded on that channel was gameplay footage of his cousin playing New Super Mario Bros. Wii for the Nintendo Wii. A great game, loved it. And obviously, like the video footage, quality is really, really bad because it was literally close near to the television, so it was. And that was actually the first video I've uploaded. But I thought I'd want to do content on my own. So on the 27th of August that year, I made my first ever video, which was obviously about Doctor Who, about it being 1 year since Series 6 Part 2 aired, and the new series, Series 7, was going to be airing soon in a few days. And I was just talking about that. And my original idea of the series was, well, the channel was, I originally was going to make it as a pilot, where, I'll see if it works or not. And I said, at the end of the week, if my video doesn't get 10 views by the end of Sunday, I won't be continuing it. And towards the end, I did get, the 10 views. I think, like, the near end of the week, it didn't look good, but I thought, I'll wait and see what happens. And it got 10 views. It literally got 10 views. So I thought, okay, I'll continue with it. And I made so much great stuff on that, just absolutely amazing. Like I said, I made a lot of Doctor Who stuff, and I've made little, several video game related stuff. And I just enjoyed the content I made. It was just that amazing. It really, really was. But at the time, I kind of kept it as a private thing because around that time, especially when I was at school, and even sixth form, but mostly at school, I was getting bullied. And I didn't really want to make those videos, just in case if people were going to make fun of them and end up trying to, like, cyberbully me. And I actually was cyberbullied once, back in 2010 at school, and it wasn't a good feeling, it really, really wasn't. But luckily it was the only one time, and then obviously, it went after that. So that's why I didn't really do it during that time. And obviously I didn't have, like, any sort of, like, device to upload it onto the internet. That's what I did in 2012. I did that, and I just loved making the videos. And, end of 2012 came, I made more videos, and then obviously, beginning 2013, I started making more and more videos. But one thing that kind of hurt was, 5 months in of my YouTube channel, my sister found out about my videos, and what ended up happening was, she wasn't impressed. Not the content, but she wasn't happy that I was making videos on YouTube without my family's knowledge. So I remember we had like a sort of like family meeting, and they said to me, "So Dominic, we know you're making the videos, your sister showed us. We don't want you making any more videos." And I said, "Well, why not? We don't want to see you getting hurt." I said, "We don't want to see you getting hurt or, end up dying at young age or whatever. So we'd like you to stop making the videos. You can keep them up, but we don't want you making any more." And I was really upset. I was really distraught, and I thought, okay, I'll do that. And around that time, my family were really, really overprotective. My family's still like that now, you know what I mean? Even at 22, it still becomes a bit of an headache, you know what I mean? But, that's just, you can't do anything else, you know what I mean? So, I stopped making the videos, and I quite missed doing them, you know what I mean, for like the week. So what ended up happening was, I quite missed not making the videos, you know what I mean? And I thought, you know what, I want to start making videos. So the month later, when I was supposed to have not made the videos, I started making videos again without my family's knowledge. And unfortunately, my sister found out at the end of November 2013 that I was still making videos, and she was not happy. So there was nothing I could do about that, but I still continued on, you know what I mean? And another thing I was glad of was reaching my first year on YouTube, and I was so pleased with myself, you know what I mean? I thought, 1 year on YouTube, and it's gone like that, you know what I mean? The 18-year-old inside me was really, really happy, you know what I mean? I just loved it, and I was hoping to see more of it, and I did, you know what I mean? And then, like, in 2014, I was still making new content. I was doing video game related stuff, I was doing more Doctor Who related stuff, and I'd reached my second year on YouTube, and I was blown away. I really, really was. It was just an exciting time, you know what I mean? And it was just so crazy. It really, really was. And like I said, I kept making more videos. But one thing that did please me in 2014 was my family appreciated that I was making the videos. They asked me and said, "Are you still making the videos?" My mother asked me that, and she said, "Yes." She said, "Okay, that's good." And then from that point, they thought, okay, that's really, really good. They supported me making the videos. And I'm so glad that I stuck to that, because If I listened to everything, if I listened to that my family said, there would have never been a first anniversary special, or even a second, third, fourth, or fifth. You know what I mean? There would have never ever been something like that. So I'm glad that I stuck to my guts. You know, listen to myself, Dominic Tropher. You love making these videos. You continue to make them. Nothing to do with your family. It's all about you. You know, it's all about you making these videos. You know, and interesting people, and making it interesting to people. And I'm so pleased about that. I really, really am. Because as I just said, if I did not listen to my family, there would have never been a first anniversary special. I probably would have continued it several years later. And that's the thing about it. It's good to listen to your family, but not everything. You always have to listen to your own guts, your own self. It's what you want. You know what I mean? And I'm glad I did that, because if I did that, I wouldn't be here. I would not be making any more videos. I really, really would have. I would have been a long goner. You know, I would have been forgotten if people didn't really watch me. And I'm so glad I listened to myself. So then I started just making more and more videos, and you know, that's just what made it a lot more interesting. Also, it kept me from becoming bored when I became unemployed, because I became unemployed after college, and it was really, really hard for me, because you know, obviously I'm still making videos, and it just really kept me doing something. You know what I mean? And I became really, really lazy back then. I really, really did. But then when I started to do more stuff, you know what I mean, my videos and, you know, going to places, seeing family, it just made me a lot more interesting, and, you know, that's the thing. I lacked a lot of confidence back then. And watching my early videos, I can definitely see how much I've improved over the years. I'd say 2014 was a year where I became a lot more confident, because obviously around that time I was looking for work. But I was also going to job clubs and, you know, getting out to places. And I loved that. I really, really did. And I've always thanked myself for doing that. You know what I mean? It just makes it a lot more enticing. But yeah, a lot of information there and stuff. And, you know what I mean? That's the end of part 1. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this video and learnt some interesting knowledge about me and my channel. And hope you look forward to part 2 tomorrow, where you'll be learning more about me. Probably, you know, from like 2014 to even 2016, as well as other things that happened as well. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of hard to do this, but obviously being a part 1. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed it a lot. You know what I mean? So I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.